Hi everyone, today I will be unboxing my brand new Samsung 850 Evo SSD. This is a 3D NAND. I've had also one unboxing, but today I will be comparing if it's worth to put it in a rack to use it as an external SSD. I have my current rack which I unboxed on my channel. I've been using for a while this rack. It has inside my Western Digital, if I'm not wrong, the blue version, the 1 terabyte. So let's get to use it. So you simply remove the back cover. So it's actually the Western Digital Slim. It looks like a black, to be honest. Oops, I forgot how I inserted it. Okay, so it's off. Okay, so the cage is empty right now. I've been using it with much success. No problems with it. I will want to mention this will be my drive, my boot drive on my PC. I will be using it as my main drive, but because I'm not at home right now, I will be installing it in my external drive. So I will be making it as my external drive for a while to compare the speeds and for you to know if it's worth it. Nothing, oops, the drive fell off. So here is contained the installation guide, the warranty, one-stop install navigator, and the software CD. I won't be getting it out. As you can see, this is the drive. I will be comparing it to the Western Digital. If you didn't see from my past review, wait till it focuses. Okay, so this is the slim version of the HDD. So compared to a slim version, they are pretty much the same. On the wide, it is the same. On the length, Western Digital sticks a little bit. I don't know how to show it, but it sticks a bit outside. So let's mount it into the cage. A very simple process, nothing difficult. Yes, it's inside. I will be comparing the drive with the current SSD mounted in my Lenovo Y720, and this will be mounted on the USB 3.0. As you can see, this is the blue connector, and is the double USB, the micro USB. Okay, let's get mounted. So first thing, when I connected the drive and got to the disk management, it asked me to initialize the SSD. I set it as GPT. Next, you need to assign a letter and to format it. It will be Windows. Okay. So as you can see, the drive is initialized. Next, I will go to AIDA and will show you the drive temperature. Okay. So this is the boot drive, the 36 degree, and this is the external drive. Okay, first I will start with CrystalDiskMark. Okay, the first drive will be the C drive, 1 gig, 5 runs. I wanted to buy the 860 drive, the new SSD drive, but because of local warranty, it was given only 36 months, with is 3 years, and this is way behind the actual warranty which Samsung gives, and that's why I bought the second 850, and it was cheaper by 30 euros, but it would be nice to have the new one, maybe in the near future when they fix the warranty. I also ask for the extended warranty period, and they said it's the normal period which they gave me. As you can see, the internal drive heated up till 33. These games which appear unavailable, they are because they were installed on my external SSD. Let's see the results. I hope it doesn't do anything in background, because if it does, it tempers the drive speeds, especially when we're on the boot drive. After CrystalDisk, I will be using AC SSD benchmark on both drives, and as a final test I will be using Samsung's own Magic, Samsung Magician. As you can see, as my main drive, the read and write speeds are a little below the normal speeds. I'm very curious on the external drive if it reaches the limit of USB 3.0. As you can see, the drive temperature maintains pretty well. God, it takes a lot to complete the benchmark when you set the 5 run. At least we have two drives which are basically identical, and we can test the USB speed and the SATA 3 speeds. Oh, it was just preparing. And the benchmark is done on the internal SSD drive. Okay. Next we set the E drive, which is all empty because it's first run. Let's see the results. So it hit the limit, 290. If the write speed is the same, this means the USB is limited to 200, around 300. It's still way above the speed of an external HDD. On my 2.5 2 terabytes Samsung drive, I get around 128, if I'm not mistaken, and it has 1 terabyte platter. As you can see, the drives is already heating up. So the sequential speeds, the read speed is pretty fast. The 4K are worst that I've seen. That's a shame. That's because I think it's the limitation of the USB 3.0 port. It would be fine to test USB-C. And the write speed is correspondingly fast. So the benchmark is finished. As you can see, the sequential read and write speed are pretty fast. The other computation, as you can see, it uses a very low IOPS. I think it's the USB 3.0 limitation. I don't think if we use the AS benchmark we'll get different results. So this is my internal and this is the USB. Here we have the performance benchmark. This was run on, I will run again. So this is my main drive connected to the SATA 3 port inside the laptop. The last read and writes were 540 and 506, and the read and write IOPS was around 84 and 68. Let's see if these things change, and then we will test the external drive. So it takes a while. I thought it will be faster, and speeds have dropped. I don't know why, but they are pretty comparable to what we have achieved here, and this is because the drive is getting a little bit crowded with space, so no volumes found. This is strange. don't know why Samsung doesn't want to test the drive, and it works on others. As you can see, you can test the external. This is the reads of the M.2. I think a restart is in hand. So even after the restart, it doesn't allow me to... Oh yes, it allows me. So basically it wasn't recognized because it was created and generated at the same boot up. That's why Samsung Magician didn't really knew what's happening to its new drive. It did not allocate its letter, and that's why it appeared like there is no partition on which to conduct the speed test. So we will wait a minute 39. By the way, after using about 3 months the 512 gigs SSD, I can say I'm pretty much pleased with its performance. As you saw, it was already written on it 1 terabyte point 3, but it was used as my secondary drive, next as my primary drive right now, and that's why it got so many gigs on it. For example, my home drive, which is a Samsung 840, it has some pretty shitty firmware speed issues. It has only 10 or 11 terabytes of write. It's a 128 gig, and I have it for around 5 years, and it shows in Samsung Magician and all other software that is only 97% of lifetime. So this is a pretty good thing. The only difference between this drive and the new drives, the 850 and 860, is the buffer size. It gets a bigger buffer size, which is a very pleasant. So as you can see, the read and writes are basically around 300, but the IOPS, in input output per second, on read it gets only 488, and on write it gets 600. This is a pretty big limitation. Or we can see all drives all here. So ignore this. This is not the default speed test because you saw bigger random writes and reads, but you can compare the IOPS with an M.2 slot or even an SATA 3 slot. There are big differences. And my 2 gig external drive, as you can see, it's actually, I don't know how to interpret this number, but this number you can see the difference of operation per second. So in conclusion, I think if you want to pair an USB 3.0 rack with an external SSD, you should know that you will not achieve the maximum speeds on USB 3.0, I mean, because on this laptop I don't have an USB 3.1 or an USB-C, if that matters, and this is basically a limitation of an USB 3.0. And I also don't have a rack that supports a higher speeds, but if have higher speeds hardware, you can use them. It may actually get to the point. But if you have older hardware, it definitely is about 3 times faster at sequential speeds and much more faster on random speeds. Thank you for watching. Like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. See you next time.